Hi everybody, in this video we're going to take the guts out of a Sram Red 22 left side here, take these out, and we're going to install them into a 4CX left brake lever to make it 2x. The reason why I'm doing this is because I have a Force 22 on the right side and I just wanted to match a little bit better. I got a really good deal on this. You can see it's all scuffed up. So decided to just take this and take the guts out, put it in this, and that way I can run a 2x system. Now, as a heads up, the internals of this and this are both the same, but you cannot do this with the first generation SRAM 10-speed stuff. So these internals here are a little bit different than the 10-speed stuff. This is basically the same procedure that you will do with the hydraulic system as well. Okay, as far as the tools that you will need, various picks, I guess you could say, you might want to get if you don't have them already. These are just some basic Black & Decker picks that I got from Lowe's, and then this one's just for some of the smaller areas there. May not even use that one. Also, you're going to have a small Phillips head screwdriver, you can see here. If you don't have one of these, if you have like a glasses case or repair kit with these little bitty screwdrivers like this, you can use one of those as well. So I do have various flathead, little small flathead screwdrivers here to help me kind of reach down and grab some things out of there. So as far as parts, or as far as tools go, that's really all you're going to need. So first thing, let's take off the rubber hood here so we can get to the internals. Alright, so now you can actually see the internals here. When I flip them over, you can see the internals right here. We have this little cover here that we're going to have to remove from both sides, and that's where this small little Phillips head is going to come into place. You have 4 screws right here. On the hydraulic version, it's going to be a little different. Okay, so here's actually the hydraulic. This is the right side. That's actually all torn up. You can see here the brake lever is broken. But you can see this one has a different kind of plate than these do. This has a screw here, here, and then right here. So it's only 3 screws on the hydraulic. But either way, it's just a plastic cover that's in the way that we gotta get out of the way. Okay, so let's get the 4 screws out of the way. All right. Okay, as far as these 4 screws here, just as a heads up, you will see that one of them is a little bit shorter than the others, and the short one will actually go right here. All right, so it's closest to the tall part of the hood here. So your short screw to the tall part of the hood. All right, so there we are. So here's our guts here, and what we're going to do is take all this stuff here and put it into here. First things first, we're going to go ahead and on the side that doesn't have anything, we're going to just go ahead and remove this axle. So this here is what the drum will actually spin on. Okay, so and to get rid of that, there's another screw on this side, another small Phillips head, that doesn't allow it to slide out. Okay, so we're going to undo that screw. You don't have to undo this screw all the way. You only have to do it out just so it's far enough out where it's not in the way to get that shaft out. All right, so that should be good. I don't know if you can see that or not, but right in there, it's out of the way. We're going to do the same on this side too. You can kind of see on this one how that screw is in the way. So once again, just a Phillips head. All right, so just screw it out just a little bit. You can leave it there so you don't have to worry about losing it or anything. Okay, so now we're going to try to get this spindle out here, and actually to get the spindle out, you need to have one of these like weird looking little corkscrew picks, I guess you could call it. And I'm going to show you on this side because I think it's going to be easier to show you on the video. The next step can be a bit of a challenge. This is the part that's probably one of the hardest parts. And you're going to use a pick that's about a 90-degree bend to it. Actually, this one was really like this before, and I just took my pliers and bent it 90 degrees. I'd used this one in the past, but the tip of it broke, so it's not as good. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we can see here we have the spindle on the CX1 one with no guts on it, and obviously you can take your hand out and just pull it out like that. It's not a big deal, but you can't really you can't do that with this one because all your guts are in the way, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it using this tool here. So I'm going to show you first on this side. So what happens is there's a little bit of a gap. You can see right here as I push my tool through. You can see that. So that's what you got to use to push the spindle back. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll take your 90°, you put it up in there, and sometimes it can be tricky and hard to find, but you got to kind of just play with it, and you'll find it. So you can push it out a little bit. There you go. So you wanted to get it where it's out far enough on this side you can grab it with your hand. Okay. So you just grab it with your hand and pull it out. All right. So we're going to do that with the side that has guts. All right. So once again, screws out. It's clear this way. And this one's going to be a little trickier because our lever's in the way. Okay. So we're going to try to go in here like this and push the spindle out. I think it started coming out a little bit. My tool though, I'm trying to break it a little bit. It takes a little force, as you can see. All right, I'm bending my tool here. So it helps out, once again, if you have a little bit thicker pick than this one, because it does take some force. Like I said, this one was perfect before I broke the end of it off. Alright, you see how close it is there. There we go. So that worked the best. So you can see you want to use something that has a 90° bend to it that's a little thicker, but you can see it popped it right out there. Alright, so now you kind of pull that out, and then you can pull this out with your hand now. Or actually you might want some pliers, because it's hard to pull out because it has some grease on it. So now that our guts are free here, we can go ahead and pull them out. Pull this out first. You see that's your lever. Alright, set that down. And this here is actually what shifts the gears. It's only 2 of them. So, and then you have this little ratchet piece here, and this is what is actually another kind of pain in the rear end to move. There, so we got to take this out. Now you see on this side, it has a little C-clip right here. All right, so we got to take that C-clip out. It's going to shoot off, but it's going to shoot off inside of here, so that way you can drop it out and you don't lose it. They do have tools for this, by the way, but I don't have them, so I'm just going to use what I have. Alright, there we go. There's off. So I just use my 2 pins to get it off. Do not lose that piece. Muy importante. Alright. So you can see here, all this is another shaft that's going straight through there. So you can just use one of your pins to push it through. And then take that out. And then take this piece out. Alright, you definitely want to keep your spring. But that's it. Now the red side here is gutted. So if you wanted to make like a Sram red group set 1x, that's all you have to do. Just take it all out. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take all of these guts and put them in here. So we're gonna reverse the process. We gotta just put all the guts in it, and then we gotta run the shaft through all the guts. But first off, we have to put our little ratchet mechanism in first. And when you put this stuff in, this spring, when you put it in there, it's gotta slide into that. So it has to be that way, okay? And then you basically take the little shaft, you run through, and then there you are. Now if you put this in and the spring is not trying to force it that way, you don't have the spring in right. So just as a heads up, you want to make sure that has some tension to it right there. All right. So we have that on there. Now we have to add our C-clip to it, which is going to be fun. All right, there we go. Okay, so we got it in place. What we have to do is we have to put this piece in, and this piece is going to go in, and you can see it's going to sit right there, but the ratchet is in the way right now. So what we have to do is we have to pull our ratchet back, and we have to put this piece in. Pull back your ratchet here. Like I said, sometimes you gotta use these pins to be able to pull everything back. All right, so now that's in place. All right, I got my spring up here. This is open there, so that's perfect. And what I do is I'll grab actually my shaft here and go ahead and get it started. Okay, so just get it through this to get everything lined up initially. All right, so now we've got to get this piece in there as well. So this part's all set up and ready to go. We just have to get our shift lever. And the problem is, if you just put it in like that, what happens is your spring is not in the right place. Your spring has to be up against there, like that, okay? So that's where this part gets a little tricky, and you gotta get that out of the way. So you're gonna take your spring here, push it up against the top. You're gonna push that up there where it lines up, hopefully. There we go. All right, that's lined up there, so I have it all the way through there. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and push the spindle in. All right, it's not all the way in, it's not completely lined up yet, which you don't want it to be lined up yet because we still have our ratchet in the way. Okay, so we have to get this ratchet back out. Just push this up, pull the ratchet back, like so. All right, see if I can get it further back. There we go. All right, now that's there. So, and then we're going to line up and get our spindle all the way through. All right, so that's in there now. And now it's rock solid in there. Okay, the spindle's gone all the way through it now. All right, and then we can actually shift gears and all that jazz now. And you shift, that's going to put it in the big ring, and then the tension from the front derailleur is going to push against it and release it. All right, so that's how that works. All right, so there we did it. Now all we have to do is put the cover back on, put the screws back in. And also too, don't forget to tighten down, and you can push in with the screwdriver here, but tighten down this little stop to make sure that your spindle won't slide out. And we'll just keep putting these, and then once again, remember that this tiny short screw is going to go right here on the top part. All right. So we have it on there. All right. Anyway, so there you go. Now I can run a front derailleur using the same matching force shifter set. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching on my conversion here. If you have any tips or tricks or have done this before, let me know in the comments below so you can help out others as well. Thank you again for watching.